Today we are going to see types and patterns of settlement. Okay, how the patterns of the settlement are. Settlements may also be classified by their shape, pattern types. The major types classified by shape are okay. So whatever we are going to see is according to the shape of the settlement. The settlement can be divided into two: compact settlement or diverse settlements. Okay, so let us see what is compact settlement or nucleated settlements. So you know that nucleus, nucleus is the center, something which is in center, and compactment, which is something is spaced very closely. Okay, so from name itself we can see here these settlements are those in which large number of houses are built very close to each other. Such settlements develop along river valleys and fertile plains. Communities are closely knit and share common occupations. Okay, so this type of settlements are mostly found in the river valleys. Okay, and the river valleys, right, and fertile plains. ठीक है ना? So it is the main driving factor. Ha. So here, the whatever communities you'll find are well knit together. Means they are very close in that sense that they are having a same common occupations. Okay. So that's why they are very closely related to each other. Okay. So mostly found in which area? Fertile and plains and river valleys. And you know that in the river valleys you'll find mostly find a fertile land, right? So this is the thing. Now you can see compact settlement. You can see the image, okay, which is in your book. Okay, now second is the dispersed settlement. Dispersed means something which are going away. Okay, so it's like, let us see, in these settlements houses are spaced far apart and often interspersed, okay, with fields. A cultural features such as place of worship or a market binds the settlement together. Okay, here you'll find that key houses are spaced far away from each other and they are interfers, means in between two houses there is a big fields. Okay, means very in a long distances they are the houses are clustered. Okay, in this type of settlement. Okay, and this type of settlement are bind together by a common place like markets, okay, or whatever it is, worship place. Okay, the people from that settlement go to the one common worship place and one common market. Okay, so why they are that way they are binds together. Otherwise, their houses are sparse, are very sparse. Okay, so this is the thing settlement you can see here. So here you can in the back then in the settlement picture you can image you can see some mountains are there. So it means that this type of settlement mostly found in the hilly areas. Okay, so now we'll see about the rural settlement. Okay, so rural settlements are most closely and directly related to land. So very easy sentence. They are dominated by primary activities. Very easy. Okay, what are the activities comes under primary activity? Agriculture, animal husbandry, fishing. The settlement size is relatively small. Some of factors affecting the location of rural settlement are ठीक है तो here you can see the mostly are agricultural primary activities. People are depending on primary activities and you will see the size of the settlement is comparatively small, okay, compared to the urban settlements. Okay, you cannot compare your village settlement with the big cities, metro city, mega cities like your Mumbai. Okay, so Mumbai, so kind of thing. Now you can see the image also, please. Okay, so now we'll see some factors that affect the location of the settlement. Okay, so number one is the water supply. So water is one of the important thing in our life. It is used in used for drinking, washing, okay, for irrigation, for everything, for household, for industries. It is the most needed thing. Okay, so it affects a lot in the location of the settlement. So why? Okay, so let us see. where water can be easily obtained. Sometimes the need for water drives people to settle in otherwise disadvantaged sites, such as islands surrounded by swamps or low lying river banks. Most water based wet point settlements have many advantages, such as water for drinking, cooking, and washing. Rivers and lakes can be used to irrigate farmland, water bodies also. Okay, whatever I've said. Huh. So what here you need to note is the in the earlier days water not today also water is used as a means of transportation. Okay, as a means of transportation. You can water bodies also fees can be caught for diet and navigable rivers and lakes can be used for transportation. For crossing a river from from river you can transported commodities also. In the earlier days this kind of thing were happening. Okay, so water flow in a direction, so in that direction you will load your commodities in something, and you will be holding that and you will be marching with that okay, with that commodities. Okay, and maybe like you have tied a rope in that particular thing where your commodities are being put. Okay, so you will hold that and you will go along with the water. Okay, now go along along with that commodity, holding that commodity by a rope, and you will be walking through a what, walking through a banks. Okay, so that way transportation was happening in the earlier days, and today also water is used for the transportation. Most of the bulky materials are being which are being exported are transported through a sea route. Okay, it is not possible to transport the bulky commodities from the airways, and it is very expensive too. So why the mostly people, the countries uses sea route. So okay, so this is the thing. Now land. People choose to settle near fertile land suitable for agriculture. Okay, so it is very in Europe. Villages grew up near rolling country abounding some swampy, low-lying land, while people in Southeast Asia chose to live near low-lying river valleys and coastal plains suited for wet rice cultivation. Early settlers whose plains areas with fertile soil. Okay, the fertile soil, the land also affects a lot on the location of the settlement. Okay, in the Europe you'll find the people are mostly choose to live in a villages. Okay, uh, and means villages, and they are mostly avoiding swampy areas. Okay, but in case of Asia you'll find that people choose to live near or low lying river valleys. Why it is so? Because these areas are very fertile and very suitable for the agricultural purpose. Okay, so why now? Okay, next upland. So upland, which is not prone to flooding, was chosen to prevent damage to houses and loss of life. Thus, in low-lying river basins, people choose to settle on terraces and levees, which are dry points. In tropical countries, people build their houses on stilts near marshy land to protect themselves from flood, insects, and animal pests. Okay, so the people actually choose to live in the upland. It is in order to prevent themselves from flooding. Okay, in order to prevent themselves from flooding. Okay, so you'll find that in tropical areas where the rainfall is very high, you'll find the people are uh, in the marshy land. The people builds a stilts. Okay, houses on stilts. Okay, you can see here. Okay, and else they build their houses in the terraces. Okay, so okay, terraces, na, terraces. Okay, so kind of thing. Now in Laos area of China, okay, dwellings were important, and African savannas building cave dwellings were important, and African savannas building materials were mud bricks and Eskimos in. So you can see the example according to the sorry here, huh? Okay. No. Okay, so kind of thing. Upland, why people choose to live in upland in order to prevent themselves from flooding. Okay, building material. So building material also affects. Okay, so according to the building availability of the building material, the people choose to live. So here you can see the example of China. The China there in the Laos areas of China. So people usually live in caves. Okay, and in the African savannas, hoga, people used to build their houses with the help of mud bricks. Okay, and Eskimos, they are in the polar regions. They are mostly found in polar regions. They use ice blocks to construct their igloos, and the houses of the Eskimos are called igloos. You know very well. So defense is also one of the important thing. During the times of political instability, war, hostility of neighboring groups, villages were built on defensive hills and islands. Okay, so in the defense matter, as a matter of defense, the people used to build their houses in the defensive hills. Defensive hills. Okay, where if you are dwelling in a if you are standing in a higher structure, the winning of your is more, the chances of winning of your is more. Okay, so like before, when your enemies come, you can see before them, okay, from the higher structure. So this is the thing that for the defense purpose, the people used to live in the hilly areas. And in Nigeria, upstanding enclaves form good defensive sites. In India, most of the forts are located in higher grounds on hills. If you see if you see in the context of India, you will find that most of the forts means those are made by the kings. Fortify, okay, they fortify their palaces, okay, with all security. Okay, so you will find all those forts are being located in the higher grounds or hills. Okay, so that is for the defense purpose. Now planned settlements, it is not a settlement which are coming naturally. It is a settlement planned by the government. It is a settlement planned by the government. Okay, so here the government tries to what in order to government tries to provide a shelter, water, and other infrastructures which affects the settlement. Okay, the government try to provide those all, as the government wanted them to settle there. Okay, the scheme of visualization in Ethiopia and the canal colonies in Indira Gandhi Canal Command area in India are some good examples. Supposing that the government wants a place, any village, okay, for some purposes, so what will happen, the government would rehabilitate all those village people in some other places, and the government will provide all the necessities, okay, like water supply, right, and shelter and other infrastructure to that village people, so that they could move to the other places, as government wanted that a particular village for development purposes, okay, for setting up of industries, whatever, dam like that, canal. Okay, so this is the thing, and this kind of settlement are called planned settlement. So this much for the day. In case of any problem, doubts, please ask. Okay, it is not that you would understand everything with my explanation. So in case of any problem, doubts, you can ask me. Thank you very much.